All right, y'all. So now it's time to work on these pleats. Now I have my markings on there, but you're going to see that I am going to draw some of the markings again because I'm using a water soluble chalk. And so as I was working with the fabric, sometimes it wears off, but that's okay. Just make sure that you have your pattern piece nearby so that you can lay it on there and put the new marks if you need to, especially when you're doing the pleats, because I wanted to make sure my pleats were nice and even. Sometimes I can go off the rip and I can just, make the pleats look like where I want to, but I love the way these pleats look in the picture, and I wanted my pleats to be that way, and I wanted them to be nice and even. So make sure that you're reading the instructions. If you read the instructions, then you will see that these pleats are pretty easy to do. Now I'm doing a piece at a time, and I'm starting, I think I'm on the right side of the skirt right now. Now don't forget to make sure that you're doing the right side of your fabric. Y'all, I was trying to do them pleats for a little while, and I was doing the lining, and I kept saying, why does these don't look right? Because I had it turned over inside out. So make sure that you're using the right side of your fabric. So let's go ahead and get these pleats on here. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so that we can get through it. Okay, so now that I have all the pleats done and pinned down, I'm going to grab my iron because y'all know how I am. I'm going to give it a good press so we can set some of these pleats in place. I should have used some starch, but I didn't, but I will later. But let's go ahead and grab the iron. And again, let's set some of these pleats in place. Okay, now that I have my pleats set and ironed down, I'm going to go ahead and remove the pins from the bottom hem. And then we're going to go over to the machine and we're going to sew down the top of those pleats so that they stay in place. I thought I was recording, but I didn't. So I went ahead and sewed down all of my pleat lines from the waistband down to the markings. And you want to make sure that you're following those markings so that your pleats are nice and even. You don't want it to look kind of crazy. Now the next thing I'm doing is I'm just removing all this excess thread. And then we're going to go ahead and start working on the waistband. Okay, so I went ahead and pinned my waistband onto the skirt, and I think it's going to come out really nice, y'all. So I have it pinned down. Next thing we need to do is go over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew that down. Then we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to do some more hand stitching on the inside of the waistband, or you can do stitch in a ditch. I don't really like stitch in a ditch because it just never works out for me, but you can do stitch in a ditch. You don't have to hand sew it, but I'm probably going to hand sew mine. Alright, y'all, so I've attached the waistband onto the skirt, and I like the way it's coming out. It looks good. The pleats look good. I've already tried it on, so it fits perfectly. Now we're just going to have to complete this waistband. Alright, so let's get the iron so we can press that waistband down and then be prepared to flip it over. And then I'm going to pin the underside so that I can go ahead and hand stitch it closed. And then the next thing and the last thing we need to work on is we're going to be working on the leather pieces for the belt, the buckle, and the belt straps. Alright, y'all, so I'm at a standstill right here because I like that leather, but I don't like it. I think I might end up putting the linen material as the belt, because I was going to put that as my belt. I mean, I said my belt, not my belt. I was going to put those as my button covers, but I don't know, y'all. I think I might just go with the linen. I don't know what y'all think.